Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.
This is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife,
Marie.
and you are going in SmackDown Live. Who needs Raw?
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw.
Oh, baby, I like it Raw. Oh, baby, I like it Raw. And you are tuned in to Going In Raw right now. How you doing?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson, and everywhere podcasts are available, including the iTunes, that sports and rec category, Larson, where we've been firmly in the, 100s. I don't think we've fallen off in a while.
Oh, good.
But if people hit that subscribe, download button, smash it on your
please.
iOS device, then it helps us in the rankings and ratings and stuff.
All right, enough with all that.
Yeah,
Let's get to what we want to really talk
man.
about. Wrestle Kingdom 11. Now, this is the first full New Japan Pro Wrestling show I've watched in its entirety.
Yeah.
I picked probably the longest one.
I am emotionally exhausted.
Yeah, I had to spread it out over the course of various watching periods yesterday.
Can we make this a thing? I know we both got families and stuff. Next year, can we find a way to watch this shit live? Because I watched it live and I really wanted you from the Rumble.
Yeah, I know.
I wanted you there with me.
When you saw the first two people, I was like, okay, I can see. It might be beneficial to be there.
It was so fun.
Some days, and this past Wednesday is one of them, I have to be up at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
And there's no way around it.
I know.
And as much as I wanted to be here and sitting here watching it with you until 5 in the morning, I would just be useless the next day, and I can't do that.
Man, I honestly thought that I was going to be like, man, I'll probably tap out halfway through. But it kept me up. Usually I can actually hang till 2 o'clock in the morning. This kept me up all the way till, and then I was thinking about it until 5, and I think it ended around 4:30, and for another half hour I was laying in bed thinking about it.
Well, the whole time I was watching NXT after I finished watching the show, I was like, kind of wish I could just go on New Japan World and just watch more New Japan and get caught up, because there's so much I don't know. And I will give this show credit that despite me not knowing any of the storylines really going into the show, by and large, every match had me invested just based on the story they were telling in the match itself. Now, you told me you were doing some research into storylines, kind of. Fill me in.
Oh, well, we'll go on a case-by-case basis.
Okay. Well, I just, I know there's going into the show, there's 3 factions.
Yeah, Chaos, Los Ingobernables. Fuck me. I was saying it. Hold on a second.
I was saying it the whole time I was out walking the dog this morning. I don't know if I could say it now.
Ingobernables.
De Japón.
Los Ingobernables de Japón.
Correct.
They
and then Bullet Club.
How do they shorten it though? To
LIJ.
LIJ. All right. And even it's funny because even the terrific announce team, the English announce team of Kevin Kelly and Steve Carino, even they were having problems saying it. One of them was.
Kevin Kelly was doing it fine.
He was doing it fine. Carino was kind of a joke that he was having a hard time saying it. So I was like, okay, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Los Ingobernables
de Japón. Yes.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 factions that are going into the show that are kind of, what, are they battling for power?
Yeah, basically,
Okay.
yeah. And yeah, different people are in different factions. Like Okada is in Chaos.
A lot of people are in Chaos.
There's a lot of people in Chaos. That was started by Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah. Whereas LIJ, their ranks are pretty small. I think there's 5.
This was kind of, and one of the story was kind of the story of Bullet Club losing a lot. Yeah. And so right now, LIJ, by all accounts, they are again, people, we're still learning.
Yes.
We're still learning.
But yeah, LIJ seems to be top faction.
Top faction, huge merchant. They're massive merchandise sellers.
Yeah.
To me, what's interesting about that is, and I want to do more research into it, is the Lucha connection, because I think it started in the Luchador ranks.
La Sombra, Andrade Cien Almas is one of the people who started the
faction
initially,
right.
I believe, in CMLL.
Okay. But now it's like the biggest thing over in Japan. It's so, because being a comic book guy, there's an interesting contrast between comic book art, manga, and then the European style, which is completely. And so every once in a while you get guys that confuse both of them. And so to see that in the wrestling world also is just fascinating.
Well, during the junior heavyweight title match, they were talking about Takahashi going to Mexico and how that changed him.
Yeah.
And when he came back, he joined LIJ.
Yeah. So let's just start off with the Rumble.
Yeah, the pre-show match.
This was, and so I was reading the Observer, Wrestling Observer this morning. He has a great rundown of it as well. How he said that this is typically used for light comedy while people are streaming in.
Yeah.
Perfect way to start off,
Yeah.
because I was worried. I was like, oh, the New Japan Rumble, it's going to be interesting because I'm not going to know anybody, but fuck, I knew pretty much everybody.
Yeah,
here.
it was. You'd see some names like Yuji Nagata.
Yeah.
Or of course Scott Norton. But there was who else? There's someone else I remember from WCW.
Yeah. Well, let's go through this. It was Michael Elgin came in first. I kind of figured. I was kind of thinking, Elgin. He finished up with Ring of Honor. He didn't re-sign with Ring, or he left Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be doing exclusively, or not exclusive, but he's going to be heavy in New Japan. He was the Intercontinental Champion until
was their Ring of Honor's world champ at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Recently, he was New Japan's Intercontinental Champion. Naito busted his orbital bone and took the title from him. And so he started out immediately. Billy Gunn, part of
Another faction,
another
apparently.
faction called the Bullet Club Hunters.
Yeah.
who I joked on Twitter. Isn't that just the WWE? Because the WWE's kind of just poaching the Bullet Club.
Pretty much.
Anyways,
Billy was being quite vocal during this match, usually calling spots. I was listening on headphones, and you hear him at one point just look at Elgin and go, "Hit me."
Yeah. yeah, I know.
It's pretty funny.
You could hear a lot going on in the ring, and it made for some
Yeah, we'll get to that
comedy
later.
Yeah. Anyways, next up, the formerly known as Captain New Japan, Bone Soldier, sauntered to the ring. Everything he does is a saunter.
Zero urgency.
I've heard about this guy in the indie ranks. Cheeseburger, he came out.
Great name.
Jushin Liger, of course, he's a legend.
Yeah.
Kobayashi. Who was the guy? What was it? Morning
Morning Monster.
Morning Monster.
That was Nakanishi.
That was Nakanishi.
That was a great shirt.
And a great shirt.
Well,
It's like breakfast product.
Did you notice Nagata's shirt where he was walking out?
Oh yeah,
He
goes
turned it up like this and had his face on it.
Oh, it's amazing.
It was great.
Why haven't I thought about that?
That's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Tiger Mask.
Tiger Mask. That's right.
Taguchi, which he's the funky weapon.
Oh yeah. And he used his butt on everything.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think that was his nickname.
he would throw his butt at everybody. Yoshitatsu, who's I think another Bullet Club Hunter guy. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Yuji Nagata, he had the shirt. Tenzin.
And then Hiro Saito.
Yeah. And then Scott Norton.
We haven't seen in ages.
Haven't seen him in 8. Now
Looks the exact same.
he's one of the few foreigners to be he won the heavyweight championship in IW in New Japan.
Yeah, he was hugely popular in Japan.
Yeah. So this was a really, really fun match. Michael Elgin ended up winning it.
Yeah, he pretty much eliminated almost everybody.
And
Save
then
for 4 people, I think. 5 people.
And then he called out Naito to challenge him for his Intercontinental title. He wants that back. So that should be something that we see coming up. The one thing that I noticed that after Michael Elgin won, and I guess after he cut his promo, they don't go back up the ramp to leave.
No, there is a separate walkway to go back.
But it seriously just looks like they just wander back off into like the rest of the arena.
No, they go into the dugouts. I noticed that because during the Battle Royal, that's where they were coming from.
Oh, okay.
It's the baseball stadium.
Oh,
That's what Tokyo Dome
okay.
is.
All right. Well, I thought I saw Elgin saunter off into what looked like. So I was like, where is he going? Is he going to go to like get some merch or something? He's going to get some
Well, could be.
nachos? Yeah.
Could be. Maybe all the wrestlers have their own tables.
Yeah.
Merch tables. and
Oh,
stuff. I don't know.
It could be. So anyways, I don't know. It was a wildly entertaining way to kick off the show.
Yeah.
Then they do this. I've seen this before in other New Japan shows. They do this and they have they cross over from the cartoon realm into the real world, and they had Tiger Mask W, who under that mask was Kota Ibushi, big name,
Yes.
and then Tiger the Dark, who is his nemesis under the mask, was ACH, popular indie wrestler, and they fought. And it was a fairly brisk match.
Yeah.
But of course, Tiger Mask W, the good guy, ended up winning.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating.
It was pretty cool how both the commentators were kind of teasing that they knew who was underneath those masks.
That's right. That's
like
right.
when Okada was doing his moonsault where he hops up on the top rope.
Yeah.
They're like, could this be? Nah.
It's so good. The comment. I'm going to say this now. The commentary was so like Kevin Kelly and Steve Corino were so good.
They're so relaxed.
They have so much fun with it without crossing a certain line.
There is a point in the Okada match. It seemed like there's zero pressure on them at all. Like they're just going out there and calling, having a good time.
Yes.
There's a point during the Okada match where Okada puts Omega in a submission move, and I believe it's Corino. It's like, yeah, Okada's made people tap out for this move before. I don't remember what it's called. Sorry, I don't remember.
That's right. I remember when he said that.
But man, that looks painful. Something like that.
That's right.
Like they would never do that on
never,
WWE. It's all so polished.
The commentators on WWE, and thank God for Corey Graves because I like him, and I do like Byron Saxon. I think he does a good job of pulling back.
And Austin Aries is really good too.
But like on SmackDown, those they just try to do way too much. Like if I know a lot of people out there like Morrow, and we joke about him, but he's just too much. You like stop making yourself so much part of the story.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
So anyways, then we had for the IWGP Junior Tag Championships, we had the Young Bucks coming out with 4 sets of titles.
And they had title belts on their tights.
So they had PWG, they had IWGP Junior,
They had a Ring of Honor. And they had their own custom super kick party belts.
They made their own custom super kick party belts.
And did you notice they had title belts on their tights?
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Oh, okay.
They print out those. And I'm almost positive they went all in on the spray tan because they looked super orange. Like they weren't joking around when they said they're doing all gold.
Yeah.
So they came out just full of swagger.
Their trash talking during matches is great.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's so funny.
It's absolutely great. They had a really fun match against Roppongi Vice, which is Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta.
You want to talk about that Trent Beretta spot where he just did the jump out of the ring, landed on his back onto the floor, didn't hit anybody.
So there was a really fun moment before that when the Young Bucks they leave. They say enough of this crap. They leave. Romero and Beretta go after them.
Oh, yeah.
They both swerve them and give them dual super kicks. And then cartoonishly jaunt. They run back to the ring.
Trying to get the count out win.
And start yelling at the ref to count out, to start counting. And then with barely 20 seconds, because that's how long the count out is.
Yeah, it's a faster count and it's 20 seconds long.
Yeah, Romero and Beretta made it back into the ring and continued the match. Surprisingly, the Young Bucks ended up losing.
But again, as we said, the Bullet Club are losing power.
Yeah. But really, really fun match. But yeah, shockingly, the Young Bucks lost. Then we had the never open weight 6-man tag titles gauntlet match.
Yeah.
This was the one where it was like round 1, right?
Well, it was
a gauntlet. So then the
match started out with the Bullet Club team of Bad Luck Fale, Takahashi, the Tokyo Pimp.
Yeah.
And Hangman Page.
He's doing sort of the Godfather thing where he brings his women to the ring.
Against 3 members of Chaos: Yoshihashi, Will Ospreay, and I believe Jado.
Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah, no, it was a decent enough match.
Ospreay's great.
Ospreay was definitely the star of this match.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least this part of the match. Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Takahashi's women. They sort of the bunny with her buns out. Mm-hmm. She was sort of the star of the show too because they kept on talking about her.
Yes, Corino especially.
Corino really
seemed distracted by.
He liked that booty.
Yeah. So the Chaos team was eliminated first.
Correct.
So the Bullet Club then took on the team of Sonata, Evil, and Bushi.
Yes.
LIJ.
Yes, correct.
And then LIJ eliminated the Bullet Club pretty quickly.
Yes.
It seemed like.
Yeah.
And then they faced the champions, who were Kojima, Ricochet, and David Finlay.
And you like David Finlay's little...
He wears underwear.
He literally wears... He was zebra print underwear?
Something like that. Yeah. I want to talk about Kojima.
Let me ask you something. How do you... Look, you've fat shamed me before.
I've never fat shamed you.
I jokingly say that you fat shame me. How do you come out there next to Ricochet, who is like seriously maybe the most fit person I've ever seen in my life? Dave Finlay just doesn't care.
I will give Dave Finlay credit though.
Yeah.
He was doing stuff that his dad probably never thought was possible.
Man, he was jumping up.
He's pretty damn athletic.
He is pretty damn athletic. I know. I'm not.
I want to talk about.
I just love that. Look, my thing is this. We've talked about this before. If I was a wrestler, because if I was a wrestler, I would probably go the Kevin Owens route.
Yeah.
Basketball shorts,
T-shirts,
maybe the sleeves are gone.
Yeah.
Or I'd go the Tommy Dreamer Messiah route.
Yeah.
Track pants,
T-shirt.
black T-shirt. Exactly.
With sleeves.
Give it up to David Finlay.
For giving 0 Fs and just going out there in his underwear. I want to talk about Kojima.
Yeah.
This guy had some of the best damn chops I have ever seen. All these fast little quick chops and then one heavy one after that.
Yeah.
I love his nickname,
Yeah.
Cozy Lariat. So good.
Cozy Lariat.
Oh my goodness. He has some fun shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Oh,
too.
does he? I'll check that out.
I was scanning through their inventory last night.
Yeah.
And I was texting you while I was watching this yesterday. LIJ has some of the best branding and packaging.
Oh, for sure. Evil is amazing.
Yes.
Like, he looks fantastic.
Sonata has a cool look too.
Yes. That's right. What was the last New Japan show that I watched? I watched I think that when I was watching a bunch of the G1, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Sonata really stood out to me.
Yeah.
Like he's really cool looking.
Yeah. And a lot of the LIJ guys have this kind of demeanor where they're engaged, but they still feel distant and cold.
They're disaffected. Yeah, I know. It's
that's
rad.
what I'm
It
looking
is
for.
so
It's
cool.
Especially Naito, which we'll get to later, because he's shooting.
Do we know what is Los Ingobernables?
I think it means the
mean?
ungovernables.
Oh,
I think I read that.
That's interesting. So they just can't be ruled.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. That's cool. That's neat.
I believe I read that. It's probably in Wikipedia. Yeah, the ungovernables.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
It's a good name.
Big FUs to everybody.
Yeah. So LIJ eliminated the champs.
Mm-hmm.
They are the new never 6-man openweight tag team champions.
Yeah. So again, title change.
Yes.
2 in a row.
Yes.
Is that 2? That's 2. That's
Yes.
only second man. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Then we had Cody, the debuting American Nightmare. Cody.
They can't officially call him a Rhodes, but Carino and Kelly were tossing the Rhodes name around like it was no problem.
Versus Juice Robinson, who is best known by a lot of people as the guy in NXT.
CJ Parker.
CJ Parker accidentally broke Kevin Owens' nose.
Why does he look younger now than he did in NXT?
No facial hair.
I know
Or
it's part of it,
lighter
but like he
facial hair.
looks just younger.
He's happier, I guess. I don't
be.
know. He has the most annoying voice I heard in my life, though.
He called Rhodes a motherfucker at one point during this match.
Okay, let's talk about this for a second.
Well, no, listen, we have two. We're almost there. We're almost to that match. You want to talk about?
No. I
Okay,
want to talk about
sorry.
that. I want to talk Cody Rhodes for a second.
Okay.
You're making your debut in the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
All right? Why is there nobody else from why is there nobody else from the Bullet Club flanking you? B, why is your only Bullet Club branding tiny Bullet Club logos on your boots?
Yeah.
Not even on the back of your cool leather jackets.
I know.
You're not using the Bullet Club music. When Adam Cole joined the Bullet Club, he was Captain Bullet Club. He was like from head to toe, he was the most gleeful Bullet Club person I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Immediately, he had Bullet Club logos on his trunks, on his boots, on his jacket.
Yeah, he was like full on Bullet Club Mark.
He was exactly, that's the word I was looking for. He was the most Bullet Club Mark I've ever seen in my life. Cody Rhodes, you're in the Bullet Club now. Floss it.
I assume you're being brought into the Bullet Club to help resuscitate it.
Right, exactly. Brand yourself properly, son.
Yeah.
Man,
I was very disappointed.
I was so irritated.
At Battle of Los Angeles, when Cody Rhodes had his match there,
Yeah.
he literally has the PWG logo on his tights. Huge.
What the hell? Like, this is supposed to be a big coming out party. This is supposed to be, like you said, rejuvenation
I know.
of the Bullet. And all he did was, like, he had his T-shirt hanging out of his ass.
Yeah, tucked into the back of his pants, and I didn't even notice the Bullet Club logo on his boots. I didn't notice that at all.
Maybe he showed up at the show and was like, and they were like, "Yeah, Bullet Club is being booked to lose everything tonight."
It's like, oh,
except for Adam Cole, baby,
and Cody.
And the only reason he's keeping he's winning his belt is because the other dude's leaving. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
And this is a really fun match. This is a really cool match. Cody is a great heel.
He is a great heel.
He's a fantastic heel. He was yelling at Steve Corino a lot of the time, and then he spilled some water on him afterwards.
Apparently, Carino and the Rhodes family have quite the history.
Oh, I like
they
that.
They were alluding to.
I like that. That's good. And yeah, he ended up he really worked Juice Robinson's leg. Mm-hmm. It was very heel.
I want to talk about this because I'm happy you brought that up. When we started, I mentioned that every match managed to have a story in it to get me involved, and I didn't have to know any of the stories surrounding the storylines themselves.
Right.
And every match, you can pinpoint exactly what each competitor is doing.
Yes.
Which body part they're working.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was consistent match to match to match to match. And juxtapose that with NXT, and granted, it was, like house show matches where I think by and large, or in some cases, they just kind of go out and either do matches they do night after night or just kind of wing it, maybe.
Yeah.
It's such a juxtaposition of having a storyline that you could follow immediately in these matches, and then some of these WWE style matches, which is just like, okay, go out there and wrestle. You have 50 minutes, go wrestle.
Yeah.
And there's not necessarily a through line in every match. The good ones, yes, but not every match. And it was amazing that 10 matches, every one of them, very clear, obvious, distinct narrative for each competitor.
Well, you would think
within the match.
It makes me wonder. Number one, that might just be in the culture of their wrestling.
Yeah, and I think that might be the case.
But also, they had to have known the buzz that this show had going into it. And according to Meltzer's Twitter, subs for New Japan World exploded on Tuesday.
That was one.
There you go.
On Wednesday, but nonetheless, I subscribed simply to watch the show.
And so they have to know, they have to understand that people are coming in this fresh like you, and you want, in order to really get into it, you have to have the story. You have to have some story.
Best foot forward with every match. Yeah, no, I understand that.
But this is a really, really good match. Juice Robinson's voice really annoys me. Next, we had for the Ring of Honor World Title, Adam Cole, baby, versus Kyle O'Reilly in their rematch. I was certain that this was just sort of, to get some exposure to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, you weren't expecting a title change.
But apparently Kyle O'Reilly is not re-signing with Ring of Honor.
Not right now, no.
And all expectations are for him to go to NXT. Whether or not that's going to happen, apparently Regal's really, really big on Kyle O'Reilly. Yeah. But yeah, in any event, Adam Cole is now the very first
three-time Ring of Honor World Champ.
Yeah, and this was a good match. It was a bit truncated. I felt it was a bit short.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering for Kyle O'Reilly. Granted, I'm not that familiar with his work. This is literally the only match I've seen in full. Solo match. What do you think his ceiling is?
Man,
mid-carder at most.
I'll put it this way. He's young.
Yeah,
he?
I think he's.
Has he been around for
29 or something like that?
Really? He's that old?
I think that's what I read. He's 29. He semes to have two facial expressions.
You're right. Yeah.
Two facial expressions in the ring. I mean, he's works really stiff.
He looks 25.
His style's fun to watch. I just don't know. If he stayed in Ring of Honor or went to Japan for 2-3 years, really developed and honed his craft.
If he had hit the what you're about to say is exactly correct. If he had hit the WWE when he was 34, then I would have said he could be on the Finn Balor level.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're right.
It just seems like he needs more experience.
I feel like he's coming in now. As opposed to, and maybe, he does work sort of an MMA stiff style, but it's not like a high flying style. So you'd think that he'd have more longevity because of the way he works.
But then again, he works so stiff.
He works stiff, but you're not
quite Shibata stiff, but pretty stiff.
Yeah. Shibata's our age. Yeah, he's old. I feel like you're right. I feel like his ceiling is a
mid-carder maybe.
A mid-carder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if he had waited 3 years and went to Japan and did a lot of things,
did more Ring of Honor,
then I thought that when he came in, it could be much higher. But it's just, how it is in the WWE. It's once you're there, your ceiling appears much quicker than if you went out and kept doing your thing and establishing your brand.
Yes. Maybe, if he goes to NXT, stays there for a year or two.
Because he's not the strongest promo guy.
No.
And you kind of need that.
Yes.
For a high ceiling.
Yes.
Adam Cole, on the other hand, I think he's ready, man. I think he's a freaking star. I think he needs to get. I've said that. What's funny, dude, is that I said this before on one of our episodes, and I forgot. Maybe it was the count out. I think it was the count out where we said who had the best 2016, something like that. I forget what it was. And I cut it out because I was like, I don't really want to go down that path. I said that I feel like his body, he needs to be a bit more prime time.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm bringing it up now, and I don't want to cut it out, is that you mentioned it to me on the Battle of L.A. that they were clowning him.
Yeah.
Because he had a bit of a belly going.
Yeah.
And I feel for him to be sort of at the Finn Balor level.
Yeah.
Balor's very cut.
I know. I was looking at some on Twitter, and the Young Bucks, I think, posted some stills after Wrestle Kingdom of them, Adam Cole, and Kenny Omega hanging out. Adam Cole is the most diminutive of the four of those.
Yeah.
Not just in terms of musculature, but in terms of height.
Yes.
To counter that, he needs to go the Finn Balor route. He needs to get cut.
When I see Kenny Omega's like body when he stands there,
ripped.
He's ripped,
Yep.
and it's like otherworld ripped. It's like fucking rad.
Yeah,
like
he looks like he has
so cool.
zero fat on him.
Yeah. Finn Balor looks cool.
Yeah.
He looks so like he just stands there and he looks cool.
And like the Young Bucks aren't that cut.
Yeah.
But you can still tell Adam Cole's in great shape.
Yeah.
He's a pro wrestler. Pro wrestlers are in great shape.
We're not looking
by and large.
It's all comparative here, man.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I can be the Adam Cole. No.
But like the Young Bucks aren't cut, but they don't necessarily looked.
Well, the Young Bucks have a different thing, though. The Young Bucks are brash, and they do amazing things in the ring, and they don't need to be cool. Adam Cole, for him to get... I know, I just broke something down there. Speaking of fat asses. For Adam Cole to really make an impact, because he has everything else.
Yeah.
He has everything else. Like, he's a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
He's got excellent promo skills.
Yeah.
Like, he's just brimming full of confidence.
Yeah.
He's got a giant knot where he's growing another Adam Cole right
I
here,
noticed that.
apparently. I think I would love to interview Adam Cole. I think he's probably got a really good sense of humor. He seems like a really funny guy. I think he's got everything in the world. I just think he needs to shred.
Yeah.
He needs to look fucking
And
cool.
earlier in his career, I was watching some highlight videos of him. He was a little more cut.
Yeah. You know, when you're traveling around, it's probably just really hard.
I know.
So I don't want to see him go the Haas route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You want to talk about this next match because it was a laugh riot.
Oh my God. So, okay, it was for the IWGP the heavyweight tag titles.
Titles, yeah.
It was the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tonga Roa?
Roa, yeah.
Roa, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a triple threat match against Ishii and Yano, Chaos members.
Yano's kind of like a comedy guy.
Yeah.
He does this a lot.
Yeah. And then Makabe and Hanma.
They were the winners of the World Tag League tournament. Yeah.
So you primed me for this match by saying that Tonga Roa was just cussing all over the place. And I was like, okay, maybe he's just dropping a couple
You didn't
F-bombs.
understand.
But you didn't mention that Makabe was getting in on it too.
Yeah.
Everybody was just dropping F-bombs the entire match. It was like, fuck this, motherfucker, you, and all that kind of stuff.
And Steve Carino couldn't stop laughing.
It was that eat shit.
It was the eat shit.
Because they'd commented on it.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Kelly said something. And then right after that, Tongaroa goes, eat shit. And Carino loses it and he has to turn off his microphone because he's laughing so much. And then he apologizes. And the rest of the match, he's on the verge of laughing.
I was dying laughing the entire time because it was the way he eat shit. and he would do it on everything.
Yeah.
He would get hit and go, motherfuck.
I know.
Eat shit.
It was hilarious.
Fuck you. Like every time he would execute any move or any move was executed to him, motherfuck.
I know.
Eat shit.
I know.
Fuck you. And Karina, and he's like, if there are any kids watching this, he said, they're waking up for school right now.
And their parents are watching Wrestle Kingdom 11.
They're watching Wrestle Kingdom 11. They're like, this isn't PG. No, it's not. Just mute it for now. Just mute it until this match is over. He could not stop laughing. It was, dude, there's something so refreshing about, and one of the highest forms of praise that I've received from our audience, from the friendos out there, is it's like talking wrestling with your friends.
Yes.
Like I think you and I have that chemistry.
It felt like they were just a couple guys happened to be sitting ringside at an awesome show and just talking about it.
It was that's exactly what it was, and there's nobody's trying to force your personality. They're not trying to act like this is
feed you lines.
They're not feeding lines. They're not trying to be clever. They're not trying to be relevant with crappy pop culture references. This is like watching wrestling with two guys who are just having a good time, and they're on the same level as you. That's what it was, and it was so much fun.
Yep.
Eat shit, motherfucker. Oh my God, the eat shit just had me dying.
Like everybody, this whole match, all 6 competitors were just cussing.
Motherfucker. And it wasn't even motivated. That's the thing.
No.
That's the part. It wasn't
Well, it
motivated.
seemed like everybody else was motivated by Tonga Roa just cussing all over the place. And just kind of like snowballed from there. Just everybody felt like they started cussing, and it was great.
Oh, God, that was so funny.
Makabe and Hanma won.
Yeah.
No, sorry. No, the Chaos team
That's
won.
right. Yeah, Yano
Sorry.
won. Yeah, Yano and Ishii. Yeah, Yano gave his double shots to the nuts, and then Ishii picked up the pin.
Yeah. I like Hanma. Like his gimmick is he just hit people with his head. It's great.
He's hitting everybody with his head.
It was great.
Yeah, it was really good. Then we had so 4 matches left in the card, and Meltzer gave these the first 3 4.5 stars each, and then the last one we'll talk about what he gave that because it's only happened one other time. Hiromu Takahashi. There's 2 Takahashis.
Yeah.
This one's Hiromu Takahashi.
The other one's the Tokyo Pimp.
That's right. And then versus Kushida, who's the Marty McFly guy.
Yeah, the time splitter.
The time splitter. That's right.
There were a couple crazy spots in this match.
Man, oh man, this was such a good match. This was such a freaking good shit.
Again,
such a good
the
match.
narratives of each match where Kushida has to work the arm for his hoverboard lock.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Great.
But there were a couple just insane.
That senton off the top where it looked like Takahashi just hit his tailbone straight on the floor.
Oh my god.
And then when Kushida did the armbar off the top rope maneuver onto the outside, that was nuts.
Oh my god,
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
nuts. This was just a fantastic match. Takahashi ended up going over as the new junior heavyweight champion. And so I don't know exactly from what I understand, he was a dude who was around left for a while under a different name.
Went to, they said, Europe and Mexico, I believe.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if every wrestler in New Japan does this or just some, but they were talking about excursions.
Well, I know Okada did it. Tanahashi did it. So I think this is a normal thing that they do.
Yeah.
Part of Okada's excursion, I think Tanahashi was
TNA, yeah.
TNA.
Yeah.
So but then he comes back and there's some video vignettes I think where they were talking about a time bomb is going to happen, and then it ended up being him in this sort of new persona. And so he captured the junior heavyweight title after just an absolutely amazing match.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Lots of crazy spots and some just fantastic storytelling.
Yes.
Like that, the story of these last 4 were just fantastic storytelling.
Yeah. Oh, the Hiroki Goto Shibata match. It hurt watching it.
It hurt watching. So that was
stiff.
next.
And they had
up.
a great story. They kind of recounted that these two guys known each other for a while, and that Shibata was disappointed in Goto because he can never win the huge match.
Yes,
because for Goto was in the G1 finals.
He lost to
Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
And I guess that's just been Goto's story, is that he just can't ever win the big one.
Right. This is for the never openweight title, which from what I understand is kind of the mean bastards hit each other really hard
that's
title.
That's what Carino and Kelly were saying last night. Yeah. And man,
boy, oh boy, that Shibata dude, man, freaking. So he's got like an MMA background, and it's obvious. Like, and his whole character is just like I was reminded of Dan Severn.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I felt like this dude. He could just shoot and he could win at whatever he wants.
Like this, Shibata is Dan Severn if Dan Severn actually seemed athletic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This guy, he was smooth. He transitioned from move to move and hit hard.
You know, Severn was 40 when he came to.
Yeah, I know.
That's weird to think that he was our age.
I know,
because we're almost 40. But yeah, Shibata's about our age too.
Yeah. This guy is athletic as
man,
shit.
I wish I could look like that.
I know. And move like that and hit like that.
Jeez, man, how tall is Shibata?
He seemed like he could be tall.
He seems really tall, but he also might just be built a certain way because he seems very long.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Shibata's he's my height. He's 6 feet.
Wow.
According to this, he's 6 feet.
Huh.
That's insane. Yeah. So he's Lacey's age, so he's a year younger than me.
Crazy.
Man, that's great because he looks. God, look at him.
I know.
Why can't I look like that?
I know.
Gee, Willikers.
And it's not like he's huge.
Right. Exactly.
He looks like a premier athlete.
He does.
A guy who's just naturally athletic.
Yeah. But he carries himself with such intensity.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then Goto's great.
Yeah, Goto's fantastic.
This whole match was great.
Yeah, it really was. Goto ended up winning, again, another title change.
What did Meltzer give this one?
4.5.
Yeah.
All these he gave 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really stiff. The last couple of minutes were just outstanding. Were just fantastic.
And as I said on our NXT 205 recap, I watched this match, and then I went straight to NXT.
Yeah. Goofy, yeah, exactly. It hurt watching this match. I know, again, more great storytelling in this next match. Tetsuya Naito, the IWGP
He might be in my
champion.
top 5 favorite wrestlers.
You
right
love
now.
that guy.
His face has so much personality in it.
When he comes there, I love that he comes to the ring in like sort of a disco suit,
Kind of, yeah.
or like a 70s business casual suit. Dragging the title. Like, you guys have a problem with Roman Reigns, but here's the thing about Roman Reigns, that he's like nobody's really intimidated by Roman Reigns.
Well, here's the thing,
this guy's
too.
terrifying.
Yeah, here's the thing about Roman Reigns too, is that when he carries the belt the way he does, it doesn't seem like a character thing. Whereas Naito seems like a character.
And it's the
Attribute.
Nobody's going to tell him to do this otherwise. And he's got that fucking dope mask
I know.
that he wears. It's just that the branding is amazing.
And one of the first things he does when he gets in the ring, because Tanahashi had already come out, he just throws the belt like kind of at his feet.
That's right, yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's like, this is mine. You're not going to get it from me.
But also it's kind of like this casual kind of disrespect for it.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, it's like, this belongs to me, but whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And the match was so Tanahashi. From what I gather, I'm guessing Tanahashi's kind of their Cena-ish.
I think he has.
If he didn't have ultimate burying powers.
Yeah, I believe I looked at this briefly. The title history for the IWGP belt.
He's won the.
He's had more than anybody.
Yeah.
7
He's
times,
like
I think.
literally their greatest champ. Yeah, he's had it 7 times.
So yeah, I think the Cena comparisons are fair.
Been around for a long
And
time.
based on kind of his packaging and the character, from what I could gather from the show, it seems like a fair comparison.
Kind of a Cena-ish thing. Yeah, exactly. So it to me, it'd be interesting to understand more what Japanese perception of him is. Because he did get some boos with some things that he did.
Yes, and also Naito is one of the more over guys and all.
And Naito is like the most over dude. Yeah, he's like super duper.
But yeah, like the beginning of this match had a very, in more recent history, the John Cena AJ match at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
where the crowd was divided.
Yeah, exactly.
But was still really hot for the match.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, they made a point before the match started saying that Tanahashi was saying that this was like his worst year. Or 2016 was his worst year since his early days in promotion. Yeah,
so he's having a hard time now. He's got the crisis of confidence thing. Maybe they're executing your ankles over there.
It's a good storyline. I'm telling you,
it is.
But this was a match where both guys were working the legs.
It was also mentor protege because Naito used to be Tanahashi's protege, from what I understand.
This was a story where both guys were working the knees.
Yeah,
Naito had one wrapped up. I wonder if Naito is his kind of thing is just working the leg, because that's what he did against Omega in the G1 final.
Yeah.
Great match.
Oh, just fantastic storytelling, psychology, just absolutely off the charts. Naito ended up winning.
First thing he does when he gets that belt back, throws it.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, he ends up retaining. So we'll see where we go from here with Naito.
Well, I guess if Elgin called
him out, so that might be a quickie. But I think what's going to be really interesting in 2017 is to see. Now, again, like I said, the IC title, I'm not sure how it's perceived over there. It seems like it's its own thing. But do IC title holders, are they interested in moving up to the heavyweight title? I mean,
I would think so.
You would think that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if we get a Naito Okada thing anytime soon.
I would suspect so, yeah, because Okada won the belt off Naito middle of last year, I want to say.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't know. Still learning.
Let's just take that opportunity to segue to our main event then.
So Dave Meltzer gave this 6 stars on the Wrestling Observer.
Posted that on Twitter. I thought they were joking.
No, it's literally. We can count them right here.
No, I believe you're.
No, because I was like,
I trust your ability to count.
6 of these bastards. He's only given this to one other match. It was an untelevised Steamboat Flair match. Right? That sounds about right. So weird. He said this could perhaps be the greatest pro wrestling match in history. It's difficult to sort of to frame it that way for me, just because pro wrestling is such a subjective thing. Everybody has their own, what they like.
And the breadth of it, even just the last, say, 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of classic matches in the 20 years. And it's hard, as you said, it's just a subjective thing. It's hard to say this.
Yeah.
Most certainly, declaratively, is the greatest match in history. But this match was really damn good.
Look, no matter what happens this year, it's going to be difficult to say. I mean, every match that happens this year, it's going to be, it was good. But was it Okada Omega?
Yeah.
Because my God, a 45-minute match. And beat by beat, it was built perfectly. And it ended perfectly. And everything about it was done perfectly. And what these guys did, Kenny Omega at this point is probably the best wrestler on the planet thanks to this match. Like, this was such a like, the performance here was spectacular. The shit that this guy did, the shit that Okada went through. How does Okada still have a neck?
After the dragon suplex top rope spot.
And it's the one thing about New Japan that gives me pause is these guys could very well be fucking themselves up. And that's the only thing where I'm like, man, I kind of appreciate that the WWE has sort of gone down the route of, well, we're not going to let you mortgage your future. Because Jesus Christ, these guys, man, there is that, like you just said, there is a spot where Omega executes a dragon suplex. So he has him in a dragon sleeper position.
No, it's not dragon sleeper because that's the reverse.
Oh, that's this right here.
Choke thing is where you do the double underhook on the arm.
Okay, yeah, right.
Like the full Nelson.
The full Nelson on the top rope.
And Okada lands like this.
And when I saw it happen, I was like, oh, God. Like, I was, because it's live and anything can fucking happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did he just snap his fucking neck? Like, he was this close to landing on top of his head.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking to myself, dude, he's not going to be able to move his neck the next day. Like, that's not happening.
But he did because he was on the New Year's days.
He was the next day, yeah.
Yeah.
These guys
and ate a pile driver.
Fuck. And I love the story because I've seen an Okada match. I didn't quite understand. Like, if you'd asked me before this, what's the Rainmaker? I wouldn't have been able to tell you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known because I'm not that well learned.
Yeah.
Well educated in this stuff. But like you said, they told a story that anybody could not.
Well, there was a brief,
not have any idea what's going to happen before, like what happened before this.
Yeah.
And watch this and be thoroughly entertained.
Well, they did a brief little video package about how,
which was great. Hold on a second. Let's get into this really quick. So, I thought when I saw Kenny Omega's cheesy Terminator thing. So apparently, according to everybody, he did this last year. And I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But he did a Terminator thing last year. They did in their video package the top notch super best entrance.
Yeah.
Because he did the thing where he's leaning and had the big bubble around him. So they emulated the Terminator scene where he shows up and he says, "Give me your clothes."
Yeah.
But it's so cheesy.
It was funny that when he said it initially, it was in English.
Yeah.
And the people he was talking to didn't understand it, so he said it in Japanese.
He said it in Japanese. And the crowd pops for that.
Yeah.
Because I think he's made it a thing as his heel thing. He's not going to talk in Japanese.
Oh, okay.
He only does it on certain occasions. And I don't know. It was just, and then he comes out and he's got like sort of a half plastic.
And then he has the shotgun.
And he's got the shotgun. And it's like, I'm used to WrestleMania entrances where they're so over the top. And this looks so booty. I'm sorry. It just looks so booty.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I like when he comes out and he's mugging for the camera. He's got a fucking broom with him because he's a cleaner.
Yeah.
And there's no frills and he just comes out. And he had a plastic rubbery Terminator mask that looks like it's something you get at Spirit.
I know.
In the clearance rack. And then Okada comes out. And like I tweeted, he looked like a fucking he looked like a walking championship title. And then Okada dollars start falling from the sky.
Yeah.
And he looked amazing.
Yeah.
He carries that championship like nobody else.
I was going to say, even before the match started, they had a short video package kind of outlining what the story going into the match was about. About essentially who's going to be the face of the company.
Yeah. And because big things are happening. They announced the G1. They're going to have some dates in Los Angeles. And we're going. We're there.
Yeah.
July 1st, I think it is.
July 1st and 2nd.
Yeah. So we're going to be there for that. But, that's why there was a lot of speculation that Omega was going to be winning the title because he can speak both languages. And if you're going to start going international, you kind of need a face who can do that. But then people were saying it was also kind of early in Okada's title reign. So, I thought for sure Omega was going to win it. But then I'm not the most educated person in the land in terms of New Japan. But my God, it was an outstanding match. So many great stories being told. Omega never was able to hit his finisher.
Nope. Despite trying 3 times.
Despite trying 3 times.
And it took 4 Rainmakers. To get the pin for Okada. There's that great spot.
Yeah.
I think you're about to bring this up where Okada hits the first Rainmaker.
Yeah.
And Omega kicks out. And brilliant direction. Close up on Okada's face. And it's reminiscent of SummerSlam, the Cena-Styles match.
Yes.
Where Styles kicked out of the top rope by A.
Yeah.
And Cena, the look on his face, just pure exasperation.
Oh, it was
and
great.
Okada sold that just as well.
Just
it was fantastic.
perfectly, yeah. There was one moment where Omega reverses he evades a Rainmaker and reverses it, but instead
that
of
knee strike,
the knee
his
strike,
knee strikes look like they legit fucking hurt.
I know. He did this drop kick to the back of Okada's head.
Yeah, that was
flush.
My
god,
that was flush.
Man, it was just exhausting.
The body drop Okada did to Omega on the table on the outside.
Yeah,
that was like 6 inches away from really fucking up Kenny Omega.
When Omega went through the table,
yeah,
I thought he was. Yeah. Fuck. And then Omega did and it's also, there's no like, what I love about Omega is that, I've said this before, one of his strongest things that he brings to the table is he's got a sense of urgency like nobody else. Mm-hmm. And so when he did the top rope, was it like a senton or some shit where he like jumped,
the one where Okada was on the other side of the barricade, right?
On the other side of the barricade.
It was just like he did like
a flip, basically.
Off the top rope, yeah.
But it was as if there was no thinking about it. Mm-hmm. It's just he wanted to hit it, and then he ran.
Well,
and
because
he did
also
it.
the ref tried to get in his way to stop him from doing it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so there was this like almost like it was a desperation move almost, but it was such a crazy move, and he basically just ate it himself. Like he just ate the entire thing.
And then in the setup to that, they were comparing it to the spot
at the G1 final,
the Naito match where
yeah,
he
exactly.
did eat it. He took that all himself,
Yes.
like shoulder on concrete, basically.
Yeah. So there's so many great moves that just look like these guys were just killing themselves. Mm-hmm. So I want them to take it easy right now.
Yeah.
I want them to get all their rest.
Well, they were both in the ring the next night.
Jeez. Just otherworldly entertainers, man. Mm-hmm. Just absolutely crazy. Okada ended up retaining. Bullet Club just fucking ate it, man. It was a good night for Chaos, and it was a good night for LIJ.
Yeah.
And
not a good night for the Bullet Club.
Not a great night
Bullet Club. There's no indefinite article.
For Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Adam Cole was the one guy who came through.
Well, Cody did too.
And Cody,
who's kind of Bullet Club. He's Bullet Club, but apparently just not for life.
He's probationary Bullet Club?
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
He's got a 90-day probationary period.
He does.
Before he can don the full regalia.
Yeah, it could be. He's Prospect now. Yeah, he's like
it could
Prospect.
Could be. He's like in the NXT version of Bullet Club.
Yeah, exactly. So lots of I'm totally like I want more. So I'm gonna learn how to navigate New Japan world because it ain't easy. They don't make it easy.
Yeah, I'm going to as well.
Yeah. So
have you seen the Okada Tanahashi match from last year?
I have not, but I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah,
I've heard really good things about it. So that's one thing also, man. It's exciting to me because I feel like we know the big beats in the WWE.
Yeah.
You know? I want to know the big beats in New Japan. I want to go back and learn.
I feel like we know like the plot intricately of the WWE, whereas like in New Japan we kind of just know the synopsis.
Yeah, exactly. I want more.
I want more.
I know, me too. I want to know all that stuff. So it's exciting to have like a whole new world to like.
It pretty much feels like a new federation just started.
I know, right?
With all these fantastic, brilliant wrestlers.
I know.
That that we kind of know about already.
I know. It's like, ooh, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Who's this guy?
But they also have 35 years of history.
I know.
Plus, was it
like
72 they started?
When during the 72, yeah. When one of the older dudes was coming out for the New Japan Rumble, I tweeted out, I was like, now I know what Dan Nerd Cubed feels like.
Oh, yeah.
Because, when older guys show up and he's like, who's that guy? Who's that guy?
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Someone tweeted, too, that some of the older guys were all members of NWO Japan.
Oh!
And they're all in the ring at the same time.
Okay, all right. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of neat. Do you want to talk about a bit? We haven't watched it, but the next night on New Year's Days,
okay,
Suzuki Gun,
okay,
a faction that used to be in New Japan that they sent to Pro Wrestling Noah to kind of help revive that promotion, return, and attacked Chaos, and specifically Okada.
Oh.
So apparently that's the next program. It's going to be Chaos against Suzuki Gun.
So generally they have like one pay-per-view a month, I think.
Okay.
I think they do a monthly one. I think that's what Meltzer was saying. I'm totally down to start doing these recaps on a monthly basis because it's so much fun to watch. So yeah.
Do you know if they have New Japan has weekly shows, or
I think they do.
Okay.
I think that's what Meltzer said, because I know they do weekly on Access, but I also think that might be like sort of
some of it's old stuff.
Yeah,
I was looking at their
old
schedule
stuff.
and there was matches with Shinsuke and stuff
and they're not doing they're going to show New Japan World starting on like the 13th of January.
Just bits and pieces,
I think
right?
Bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So, but I think on New Japan, I think they do have like weekly,
regularly scheduled
Yeah,
program.
I'm sort of curious about like, does that regularly scheduled program have an actual name? Like Raw has a name. Do they have a name? I don't know. I'm going to dive into it.
Well, during the show last night,
out.
they're kind of outlining their major show schedule.
Okay.
I was noticing.
What's the next? Do we know what the next big show is?
What was it called? New Beginning, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think that's beginning of February.
So that makes sense. It's probably like, it's like their post Raw, maybe like when the new storylines kick
Well, I think
off.
that's what the New Year's Day thing was last night.
Yeah. But I wonder, I'd like to understand what the perception is over there. Like, how do their fans look forward to the day after as much as our fans look forward to the Raw after Mania? Is that a big thing?
Yeah.
Evidently, something big happened, the return of an old faction. So I'm sure you guys who are more well educated,
more avid,
let us know in the comments.
New Japan pro wrestling fans will please fill us in. We want to learn.
Yeah, we want to learn. Yeah, sure. But anyways, that's it for now.
Yeah.
We're going to be tuning in to New Japan
far more often.
I think there's good reasons. How much is the streaming service? $10 a month? Something
Not
like
even
that?
About $9.
Yeah, about $9 a month. If you guys have the extra cash, it's well worth an investment. Yeah.
Yes.
So until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.